There we go. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Talking Dog. Here, I'm Arturo Celleri, and I'm here with our Royal Frenchels, and we are doing a show every week. I was looking at the wrong place. Excuse me. We're doing a show every week, and we have guests, and we're just starting to actually do this live on Zoom so that you can join us. And so if you're not here now and you're watching this as a recording, please look for our next event post and look for that Zoom link and um, and then join us because you can actually ask us questions directly. Anahata Graceland which is normally here. She's been a breeder for over 50 years and she's created the Royal Frenchel breed. So whether you're a Royal Frenchel person or not, like whether you have a Royal Frenchel or not, or you just have any breed, and you want some expert dog advice, she's going to be here to help you. One of her passions and our passions here at Royal Frenchel really is building a deeper connection with your dog. And it's how we're trained here as the staff, and all our staff goes through a training, and they're like at some places where you work, you're held accountable to like, cleanliness or order or certain filing protocols. Here, the staff is held accountable to literally the attitude in which they treat the animals, and um, the attitude of seeing them as individual personalities, as individual beings, individual dogs that have like very unique attributes. We don't just move them around. And Anahata says, don't, never treat our dogs like cans of soup, like because like, a can of soup, you just move it, they're all the same, right? And there's a way that can happen when you have, more than one dog, you move them around. So it's important to make sure that they're treated that way. And what that does for these little people, this is Dasha Riggs, by the way. Um, so you can see her here. And yeah, so she's one of our available puppies, and she's just a doll. But what that does when you treat them like that is it's no different than for humans. It allows their personality to flower. It allows them and um their unique personality to come out. So it's really, it's simple. It is the truth, and it's sort of like everything you learned in kindergarten kind of thing. When you treat people like like they're valuable, then their best comes forward and you get their best potential personality. So we focus strongly on the personality of the dog and the health of the dog. And the health is predominantly based off of the inspired formula that Anahata had many years ago, where she was looking to discover a service dog that would serve her daughter who had cancer. And she was really into French bulldogs. She was a French bulldog breeder for many years and knew that the Frenchie couldn't go into the hospital and have like not be at risk because they're slippery floors. They have to jump off high places and they get hurt. So it was not like, you're there focused on another person's care. You don't want to like have to worry about your dog also getting hurt. So she just came up with a formula and has followed it. And since then, Royal Frenchels are bred true, meaning it's a Royal Frenchel bred with a Royal Frenchel. Every now and then, she'll bring a little bit more French Bulldog into the line to keep the genetics fresh and alive. But it's not just a mixture of two breeds. There's at least four in here, and she keeps that private right now while she's still proving the health of this technique that she's using. So yeah, so that's what we're doing here. Now I have Samantha Abrams here again. She's on Zoom, but I did want to come back to the Zoom invitation for you. So please, there you can see us live on socials, but if you hit the Zoom link in the description, you can actually come and I'll see you join the Zoom and I'll add you in and you could be live with us and join us for a conversation. We're talking dog here, so anything dog goes. Um, And we'll be bringing up some puppies and we'll be sharing about things along the way. So we'll have a good time. All right. Well, Samantha's just been so generous showing up here and taking her time because she's really passionate about her two Royal Frenchels, and she's really passionate about learning the healing attributes of the connection with your dog and how to facilitate that. She is a healer. She's trained. She's a minister, and she's just a lovely person to have with us here. So I'm going to just add her to the view here so we can enjoy a nice conversation. Let's see, multi-speaker. There we go. Uh, Hi, Samantha. Welcome.
Hi, Arturo, and thank you so much for that kind introduction.
You're welcome. So, what's on your mind today?
Well, first of all, I just wanted to say I think it's such a wonderful idea to open up this conversation to not only Royal Frenchel owners, but to any dog owner. It's so generous because I think there are times, I'm on my third dog now, but there are those to be able to just come in and know that there's a time where you can just have somebody that you can delve into their expertise and have your questions answered. I think that's so amazing. So I thank you both you and I know Anahata isn't here today, but I thank both of you for offering your experience in advance because I think it
And
helps a
by
lot of people.
You're welcome, Samantha. And by the way, everyone, Anahata is still recovering from her knee surgery and has some special attention she's given to that today. So she sends her love to everybody, and we'll look forward to having her here next week again. All right. Well, so what would you like to discuss today, Samantha?
So, I was getting to know a little bit more about your background the last time we met,
Hmm.
and it was so interesting to learn about how you have a background in science and chemistry and how that is serving you now. Um, and just the courage that you had in making those tough decisions in life to just listen to where the inner calling is asking you to go and following that. So I loved hearing that part of your story and how it landed you at Royal Frenchels, which still seems to be like it's a good fit for you. Um, and so we where we left off last week was just kind of getting a better idea of what your role is at the kennel. And I guess where we can start leaving off from there is can you tell me about a typical day in the life at the kennel? Kind of walk us through your
Sure.
day and what that looks like.
That's a fun question. Well, yeah, I think it's good information for people actually because it's so funny because, how would you know really is the truth of what it takes to raise a dog unless you've done that, right? Or to be a professional operation. Um, and it's so funny because sometimes people will just show up here and we're like, you can't just show up. You have to make an appointment,
At a pet store.
yeah, exactly. It's not a store. So these are not items we're looking at, these are living little beings, little creatures. Anyways, so yeah, so day in the life. The kennel, we're basically we always have we're 24/7 is the truth because when we have newborns, they get checked regularly. And I keep looking over here. I'm gonna move this over here for a second. So I'm looking at the camera. Uh so they get checked regularly. So we have night checks that go from 10 p.m., 12 a.m., 2 a.m., 4 a.m., and then back at 6 a.m. So
And
we
what
have
are
a
you
rotating
checking them for?
we check our newborns to make sure that their breathing is clear. Newborns can aspirate when they drink too much milk from their mom, and that aspiration can go to a lung infection, which is really dangerous for a little puppy. So we check them for that. We check to make sure mom is good, to make sure, especially when they're freshly born, like within the first week to 2 weeks until we know they're stable, and then we expand the time that they're checked. But at the start, it goes, every hour, then every 2 hours, then every 3 hours, up to every 4 hours, all the way up to the point where like this girl doesn't need a night check now. She goes to sleep happily and she's all good to go. Uh,
Uh-huh.
but the staff arrives at 5:30 in the morning, and then we have, I don't, you may have seen in some of our videos, we have this huge yard out there, and And we have dogs that are in packs. So we choose the packs that where they get along with each other the most and makes the most sense. And they all go out for a nice run and a walk. And it's funny with Royal Frenchels because they're not doggy dogs like we say. Like a doggy dog, you would think is like, oh my God, they get outside, they run, they're looking for animals, they
Getting
get
into
from
trouble.
them. Not the Royals. The Royals go out, they go to the bathroom, then like, where are the people? Where are the people at? So, if anyone's out there, they're getting visited by the dogs. So that's where you'll find them, anywhere the people are. And it's funny because sometimes I'll be like, I might be busy or something and I don't have time to pay attention to dogs. I'm like, you guys, there's so much more to do. Go out there and play, you
Yeah.
know. And they play. It's not like they don't play, like they have a good time. My Whimsy, actually, she's a retired girl, and she goes out and plays with the moms and the boys, and she just out there and has such a good time. And she lays down when she's tired and gets them going and rolls around, and they do the cutest playtime. It's so cool.
Do
But
you think she knows she's retired? Do you
oh,
think
I
she
think
knows
she
she's in
does.
retirement?
She's in retirement. She's absolutely clear she's in retirement. This is one of her granddaughters, actually. Um,
Aw.
yeah, so basically it's like, it's a rotation schedule where different dogs come out, they go to nap, they have a nice little nap, then they get up again, and their care is given throughout the day in a ritual like that with rotations and time. So everybody gets time with people, they hang out in our house. We have a house here. It's not like a kennel that has cement runs where, if you go to a traditional kennel, the kennel dogs will be out in the yard. They'll have like an indoor area that's like a pen, like for horses almost.
Mhm.
They'll have cement floor because they have to clean the floor and they have to keep it sterile. And they live basically alone. Our
Mm.
dogs live in the house. They're exposed to our energies all the time. We're all around. When they're out, they're with people. So they hang out and they just get better quality attention, and they're raised to be like home dogs like that. Um, so yeah, so then they get, they get their breakfast. Um, if anyone's on medicines, if we're doing deworming, there's a deworming schedule. There's shots that get given, all the proper stuff to care for the dogs, nails cut. We have staff meetings, and the day goes pretty fast. And literally, actually, which is amazing, is we have a lunch break and everyone goes to nap. The whole kennel goes to sleep.
Wow.
And that's oftentimes when we invite people to come see the pups here, right? And they'll walk into the room and they're like, okay, it's obviously a different kind of home because it's a dog home, you can see crates and blankets and stuff. And we're
Yeah.
like, there's like 20 dogs in this room. They're like, no, absolutely not. They can't tell because everyone's sleeping. They like let us know that when they're here, like, oh, hey, someone's coming in the house, but otherwise they go quiet and yeah, and they're just lovely people. They're so easy to raise, and we've had uh Anahata loves dogs, right? So she's started raising, I mean, I don't know, she's had many different animals, but when I met her, she was raising boxers. And uh since then she had an affection for Italian Greyhounds. And oh my God. Raising an Italian Greyhound's like raising like a ostrich or something. They got these long, skinny legs, and they are so active. I mean, they're like dog birds. Like they jump on top of things, and they require 200 times the work that a Royal Frenchel does.
Yeah.
Royal Frenchels are the easiest dogs to raise, so we can do what we do. It's like, and then when you get another breed in here, it's like, oh my God, what is up with that dog? Like
I guess,
because we're so used to the Royal Frenchel. Yeah.
you're making me think I'm pretty spoiled and I've kind of been a little, you know, jaded in my perspective maybe about dogs in general because my dogs again they are so easy and we are together all the time when I work from home and um they just want to be with me
Yeah.
and they you know sometimes I take a step back and I think aren't you guys bored? Don't you? Because I'm working, I'm doing things,
Right.
and they're just chilling, one on my right, one on my left, or one on my lap, and one on the other side, and it's pretty incredible when I really think about it, how incredible that they just want to be with me. And
Yeah.
they're so easy. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes they want to get down from our shared bench, and Softy will go and find a sunny spot on the rug, and she'll ask for her antler to chew on. And the it's also interesting too because they're little, and we have a set of stairs going down, and my boy, Cozy Bear, he has started to do like a neighborhood watch because he can't see out the window, but he can go to the stairs and get to a certain height and look out through the window and watch. So he'll bark as people pass by and let us know what's going on in the neighborhood. But they're just so easy.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. We're all spoiled by them is the truth. And I think that's, it's like whenever the funny thing about like actually, placing or finding families for dogs um is that it's a sale, like it's an exchange of value, right? And you could tell people all day long, oh my God, this dog is amazing. They're gonna be like, they're just gonna go with you. They're just gonna be so easy. They're gonna be the easiest dog you ever had in your life. They're gonna change your life. They're the a lot of articulations we're finding is like that they're not doggy because people associate with dogs as like a dog that's gonna chew your wires. It's gonna, puppy time is gonna be crazy. You're gonna have to work really hard. And I can bring my dog, I could take a puppy from here with no training, get on an airplane, teach him to walk on a harness, and bring him to somebody without any issue. Like I don't feel any anxiety about doing that. Like it is not a problem. And when people like we have a woman in England right now who's looking to get one of our pups, and she was like, "Oh my God, how's the trip going to be?" We're like, "Dear, it's not an issue. Trust me. They just lock into you and that's it. And then it's just you and them, and you guys just travel. If she has to go to the bathroom, go to the bathroom. That's it. It's really easy. But it doesn't compute because nobody has the experience yet because they're so new in that way. They are really an evolution of the dog uh in its companionship traits because because we're doing it, because we keep, the dogs keep getting better and better this way, and the size makes it even easier. So anyway, I don't know how I started talking about that, but oh yeah, because they're
Well,
so easy. They're so
I
easy.
just
Yeah.
I just shared with a client today, and all my clients love my dogs, and they are kind of the starters and the finishers of the session. So when somebody arrives at my home to work with me, the dogs will greet them, and that will be the start of their session, and then the dogs will say goodbye to them when it's time for them to go. And so I was just sharing with a client that I took both of my dogs to my sister-in-law's a couple days ago, and I had no fear or anxiety about how they would behave themselves at another person's home. And when I came in, they were just kind of I didn't worry if they were going to go to the bathroom in the house. I knew they wouldn't do that. And they just started exploring, and she had the door to her basement open, which is where the kids' playroom is. And I had a feeling that they wouldn't really go down the stairs anyways, even though they could. But they just wanted to be where the people were. So there was nobody downstairs. And
Hmm.
she said, "Oh, should I shut the door because there are little toys and there are Legos?" And I said, "Oh no, they won't bother any of that stuff." And I mean, I wouldn't leave them unsupervised, but I kind of knew they're not going to pick up Legos and swallow them, even though, I could see somebody else with the dog really being concerned about something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
And these people
and
are
I'm
jokesters too.
telling you, Samantha, it is. I mean, if you take time and actually watch the videos of our customers sharing, everyone says the same thing. So it's really fun right now. We just had two people come in to join. So let's have them. Let me see here. Show non-video participant. Okay, Jessica Blinn is a musician, and I know she goes everywhere with her dog, so I look forward to hearing from her. Jessica, can you turn on your video now? There
Hi.
she is. Hi, Jessica. Thanks for joining us. And Rebecca, are you here too? Can you turn on your video?
I am, but I'm driving, so I'll
Oh,
leave my video off. But
okay. Well,
happy
just
to join.
feel free to join the conversation. Jessica, are you welcome, first of all. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
All right. Well, are you did you want to ask a question or do you want to add anything to the conversation? You're welcome to.
I just jumped in, so I don't know what the conversation was before, but
Okay. Okay.
but as
All
you
right.
guys
Well,
know, like
We're just
I'm a
talking about how awesome Royal Frenchels are, basically.
oh yeah, well I'll totally chime in on that.
But we were
um
specifically talking about how easy they are, and how not doggy they are. And I know I just happen to know about you that you're a musician and you you take your dogs with you. Maybe share a little bit about your lifestyle, and how you bring your royals with you everywhere.
yeah, okay. Well, I teach music and I'm a professor at Evergreen College. And my Royal Frenchels come with me to all my rehearsals. They're a staple of the rehearsal. I think 2 weeks ago I didn't bring them. For some reason I can't remember, and it it was really noticeable. The energy of the whole rehearsal was lower. They add so much. I mean, they add, of course, fun, and they're so affectionate. Everybody loves seeing them, and they're so cute. Everybody loves seeing them. They also um, they connect with my students. If a student is having a hard day, Gidget will just kind of go and get in their lap and give them love. If somebody is performing and having performance anxiety, the dogs lighten the environment. I've even had students who say, I'm just going to look at one of your dogs. That helps me. That's making it so I can breathe more easily. My performance anxiety is less. So they just add. And they're so easy. I mean, either they're snuggled in a student's lap or they're in the bed right by the piano hanging out. And I even had two of them come to one of my concerts. I put them in the front row, told them to stay, and they sat in the front row while I conducted on stage. And and the thing about it is I'm not a dog trainer. It's not like I've done a lot of training with them. I have them with me. I've done some basic training with them, but they're so responsive. They're so quick to learn that it's just really, really easy to have them in all these different environments with me.
Yeah.
So,
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing, Jessica. That's so cool. I'm gonna just kind of put this back in to see all of us here for a moment. And I wanted to add something to that because it's like uh we're talking about Royal Frenchels being easy. However, there is one ingredient in that really matters, and it's what I started the live stream off with, and it was the like witness of them, like they're how they're raised in a way to be these like reciprocal beings in your life. Like they're there and they give back and they relate to you. So it's not like a lot of people get a dog and they have this sort of hierarchical posturing with them. Like they're supposed to be obedient and they're supposed to listen to me. And I want them to do this and that and go here and sit. And that's some sort of accomplishment of dominance over the dog. And we don't do that method here. There is certainly pack leadership, but a real pack leader, and you could probably hear on how to speak about this in other videos. A real pack leader is all about creating an environment that the whole pack can succeed in. So Anahata's dog Eddie used to be one of the best pack leaders I've ever seen. He never was mean to other dogs. He didn't abuse his power. He exuded his power. He was just there and he could just stand there and look around and the dogs would know, oh, Ed is here. Let's all behave. So And he earned that because he was decent with them. And it's the same thing as a person with your dog. You know, being interested in your dog and who they are establishes a rapport between the two of you because they know you care for them. You're not just trying to control them. And they're smart, so they get that, right? And doing a consistent routine of care, getting, always having their water available, making sure they're eating at the right times, giving them the proper nutrition, and giving them quality attention is an input to them that says they matter, right? And when they know they matter, especially a Royal Frenchel, they want to give back. They want to make your way easier, care for you. And that establishes this really beautiful relationship, which they are just, tens at. They're just so good at caring for you. And I mean, I'm moved to emotion a little bit thinking about Anahata's little snowbow. She's just been so amazing for her as she's been going through so much pain with her knee surgery. And she sits up next to her, she cuddles in, she licks her areas of wounds. She's so appropriate. She's always watching out for her. She moves with her. She stays with her when she's having a hard time. I mean, she's just amazing. And that, like Jessica said, was not trained. It's not something necessarily trained. It's sort of encouraged. And I believe that's really what happens is you start to encourage their natural behaviors and then they do them more and more, because they know you love it. So, yeah. So thanks, Jessica. Appreciate that. If you don't mind,
My
Lisa,
pleasure.
do you have any more to share? Otherwise, I'm learning how to manage the Zoom here so that you're not on all the time. But if you're complete, then I'm just gonna turn off your video and then I'll hide you if you want to stay in there. And if you want to come back on, just speak up.
Okay, I think I just want to say that that's so true. And I was last night, one of my girls, Joy, was getting loved up by my students, and her joy at that care and love was so apparent, so apparent. And then she gives it back tenfold, and I really appreciate that. And I have gotten to see how you guys, excuse me, run the kennel and treat every dog there in the manner that you just described. And it's really, it's a privilege to see. I've learned so much, and you see it in the quality of the dogs there.
Yeah. Well, that brings us right full circle back to Samantha's question, is our daily routine. So I'll share with you, we have a mantra, we have a guiding statement that we use here, which we've shared before here, but it really is, everything we do, this statement is underneath it all. And it is order, is hygiene, is happiness, is health. That's like the cornerstone. So order. We must have order with these dogs. You have to run an operation with order. Everything has to be consistent in a routine that works, right? Hygiene is critical. You can't raise animals without hygiene. They have to be cleaned up after, they have to be checked, everything has to be disinfected properly. So those are things that really matter. Is happiness. So that means, the dogs are happy when there's order and hygiene. Is health. The dogs are healthy when there's order and hygiene. So it goes order, is hygiene, is happiness, is health. Seeing friends, shining personalities end, right? Seeing friends. So looking at them as friends, always seeing them as friends and their shining personalities. And then blessed happiness for all. So everyone's happy when you do that. And then hear the call. So we say, hear the call, like, because it's like just a reminder. That's what we're up to. So we do every meeting with that. It is, whenever I, as a managing operations guy here, and whenever I have to talk to someone about something that may not be happening as much as we want, it always comes down to that. It's like order, hygiene, happiness, and health. And it really is. I mean, you could live your life that way and have a really good life, is the truth. If you let your life get out of order, you can't function, right? It doesn't work. And if you're not clean, if things aren't clean and up to snuff, they feel bad. They're like lower vibe stuff. It's like, I don't want to be around that. It's just dirty, makes you feel bad. So all of that matters, all of that matters to have a good life, and it matters to raise quality little beings. This is Ducky Valentine. My next ambassador right now, Miss Jessie, Miss Ducky. Oh, you got some good kisses. Anyways, so there you go. So that's, and we go literally, Samantha, just to complete the question that we took a nice little roundabout trip with, we go till like 9:30, 10 o'clock with our dogs. Everyone goes down. Then, if there's night checks, there's night checks, but otherwise they sleep from like 10 o'clock to about 5 in the morning, 5:30 in the morning. And that's it. And we have two shifts, and we have great people that come in and care for the dogs. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff that goes on here. But that's I would say that's like the first round.
It's a bird's eye view of a day in the life.
Yeah, yeah.
So within that, how do you navigate joining the packs? What is that process like?
Oh, that is a special time, and it's always done with Anahata and one of our senior kennel guys, Sebastian and Keith. They know the dogs the most, right? So the ones that work with them know them, and Anahata knows all of them. So they get together, and it's adorable. I mean, you kind of laugh, you might laugh if you're like a strict business person to see one of our rotation sheets, because it's got emojis all over it. It's got colors, it's got personality, it's got, because everything really is about keeping that joy up and that witness, so that I mean, they completely are in our hands, like, and you have a bad day, they shouldn't have a bad day. You know what I mean? So yeah, so they sit down and they discuss, hey, this one may not be getting along with this one. What about this one? Anahata knows the line. She knows the certain personality tendencies. If there's any dominance in the line of whatever. We have dogs that we call babysitter dogs who are really good with puppies. We have head bitches who are, you only want so many head bitches together. The boys have to stay together because, if a girl goes in heat and we're not aware, you got to keep the boys separate. So, so you mix them up like that based off of their personalities, and you try to just keep them balanced so that there's no arguing and no fighting. And if there is a fight, you address it and you deal with it, but that's how it goes. But it takes hours. It does. They sit down, they sort through it, they look at the lines, they consider each dog, they try it, they feel it, they see how it goes. We try it out, then we come back and change it again. It's a constant process. It's constant.
So initially hours, but then you have to adjust as you go.
Exactly. Yep. We're always adjusting. And different rooms have different adjustments. Yeah. Because Anahata, like right now I'm in Anahata's room. This is she has her own dogs in here that she helps raise.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Hey,
Yeah.
folks, I have to head out to an appointment, so I'm going to hop off. It's I love these. I'm so glad you're doing them. So
Awesome,
I look
Jessica.
forward to being at the next.
Thanks for
Great to
coming.
hear you, Jessica.
Yeah.
My pleasure. Nice to see you, Samantha. Bye. Bye, Turo.
Bye. Now, one of the topics that I put on the that we were going to talk about with Anahata as well was how important puppy nutrition is. So I wondered if you had any questions about that, or maybe me and you could just talk about it a little bit and I'll share about it. Oh, I can't hear you. You muted.
This is a little bit of a strange behavior. And it kind of comes and goes. So I'll show you this is Softy. I'm gonna lay her down. She's gonna go right back to sleep. So she's kind of the alpha girl in the house.
Uh-huh.
And then this is Cozy Bear. Not the same mom and dad, but they are definitely brother and sister and friends. And so sometimes Cozy Bear, he'll get a little finicky with food, where it's not that I am feeding them anything different, but it's almost like he seems to get a little anxious, where sometimes he's waited until Softy completely finishes her food and he'll almost step back like he's nervous to eat. And I just can't figure it out what's going on. But then it will resolve and he'll eat normally and then the habit will come back. So I don't know if it's I was wondering if he was picking up on nervous energy in the house, or
Hmm.
if there was some sort of, communication between the two dogs that I wasn't picking up on. So, do you have any insight into what that could possibly be?
Yeah, I mean, my first impression would be it's communication between the dogs,
Mhm.
because there are dominant eaters, and they eat first. Everyone else has to wait, and and they will tell them that, and they'll sit there and eat. I mean, you don't even have to. She may have already told him, right? Like a couple times, so now he knows, right? So all she has to do is step up to that plate and just kind of mosey in and take her time. And that message is loud and clear. Don't even come near me while I'm eating. Yeah, as a matter of fact, don't eat until I'm done.
Yeah.
So,
But it was
so
so funny
uh,
because when it started happening, you were talking about in how important that order is. And
mhm,
we're also talking about how easy these dogs are.
mhm,
So, I have my morning routine, wake up at a certain time, they wake up, that's the first time they go out, they have their breakfast, they go out again. So we have our own little order going on over here.
mhm.
And then when this happened, Softy would finish her food in under 5 minutes, and then they would go out again. And it was starting to take me 20, it was pushing my schedule back 20,
Yeah,
30,
right.
45 minutes. And then
Yeah.
I would have to, I was kind of getting concerned then. Is there something wrong with him that he's not eating? But then there would be sometimes also when I would um, just go on, I would just be like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to trust you that your food is there. You can eat it whenever you want and it's your choice. And so I just kind of didn't worry about it. And then I would go on to other things and then he would come back and eat it. But it would sometimes take a couple hours. But
Yeah.
it was just so unusual that I didn't really know what to do.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're little people, they have different things that happen. And one thing I've noticed is never, unless the dog's not healthy, sometimes they don't want to eat. They're not feeling like eating, and it's not that important, and it's not such a big deal. They'll eat when they're hungry, and that's okay, especially for an adult. Now, if it's a repeat thing and they're not eating and you notice they've changed their behavior, then that's something to be concerned about. But we have dogs that we move, that we'll have one eat there and one eat over there. We'll separate them.
Mhm.
So they can't see each other. There could be a dog in a crate who's running all the other dogs from not eating, right? They could be in a crate telling them not to eat, and then you don't even realize it. You're like, the food's right there, they can't get to it, but not in their world. They're like, that dog's right there. Right?
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
no, no. So yeah, I would just, try to separate them when they eat, give them their own space to eat so they can't look at each other, see if that helps. And then I think your approach is great, just to relax and let them, let it sort out and let them
Yeah, they
find
they
the
fig
routine.
they
Yeah.
figure it out. They're
Yeah,
they're
they
really
do.
smart,
They do.
really smart.
Totally.
And I
Yeah.
guess that leads me to another question. So, Jessica was sharing about training, and I have to say I really have not trained my dogs at all. Neither of them know. I could not get them to sit on command because I have not taught them sit or what that means. But that being said, I haven't really needed to. So they might not know typical training things,
Mhm.
but they know how to be good dogs. And my first dog was an English bulldog, and because I was very enthusiastic, very excited about getting my first dog, and I just wanted to have the whole puppy experience and do everything the right way, and was really involved in the training. In fact, the first few months of his life that I had him, I hand fed him so that, you know, I could use every moment as an opportunity to teach him. Um, and these dogs are not food driven at all. And I find that they're very voice driven, at least my two. And I found that such an interesting difference between my English bulldog, who could actually, he had the room to be food driven. I could feed him in that way and it wasn't going to affect his health. But both Softy and Cozy Bear are so driven by my voice. You know, you could tell they're actually really listening to you. And I remember taking Softy to a trainer to get some help with her because I don't know, I just didn't feel like I understood how to train a little dog. And she brought out hot dogs and string cheese, like really tiny little pieces. And it was like Softy was looking at her sideways, like, what is she trying to do to me with what is she trying to tell me with with these little bits of food? She was not having it at all. But if I used my voice and encouraged her, she would listen to me.
Yeah.
So it's just a really interesting difference to me.
Yeah, it is. It's a very big difference. They, they speak energy, right? And if your voice has love and affection for them in it, then they're going to hear that, and that's what they receive. So, I could totally understand that. That's 200 times better than a piece of some cheese.
And hot dogs, yeah.
Hot dog. Anyways, well, speaking of food, let's I'd like to share a little bit with people to give you some information here that might help you with your dogs or puppies. First of all, Ducky Valentine is just amazing. I can't tell you
So
how much
sweet.
I'm enjoying her. She is just such a doll. She's got the best little kisses, I gotta say. She's got the best little kisses.
She looks so soft too.
Very soft. Oh my God. So here's this little puppy, right? And, in the puppy is growing his body, right? The body's growing. So what you feed this little puppy is she's making her body out of it. And I want to share a little bit about that because it's so, you know, I think all of us, myself included, especially when I was young, youth is like it makes you feel invincible, right? Your youth is you're invincible. My mom used to, oh God, she'd be like, Arturo, my mom was from Italy. Arturo, you you're not indestructible. You're not indestructible, Arturo. And I understood what she's saying. Like she's like, you have to take care of yourself. You can't just, you're gonna get older, right? And you're gonna
Yeah.
feel the cost of your choices of your youth. But our dogs, they don't get to make those choices. We make them for them, right? And there's some, common things that adult dogs start to get later in life, and it's like arthritis. So in later in life, people go to the vet, they take their dog in, and they get some sort of joint supplement that's supposed to help increase the viscosity of the joint fluid, which relieves the pain. So it helps them, not have so much abrasion between the bones, right? Well, that could be prevented if you do the supplementation from puppy age.
Mm.
And the key is understanding that they only, and like us, we only get so much joint fluid. Once you're done growing, you're done. You don't remanufacture joint fluid. So you have to care for it. And this is where a lot of home diets fall short because who the heck knows what that compound is that's supposed to feed the joints, right? That they would be getting naturally from a wild diet. So you have to make sure it has that.
What do you
And
mean by home diet?
like if you're cooking your own food for your dog,
Ah, okay, okay.
a lot of people will learn quickly how dangerous pet food is in the market.
Hmm.
Because there's this whole protein industry that's just disgusting that manufactures proteins that are toxic, basically. They have toxics in them. And those eventually hurt your dog's organs, they cause inflammation, and eventually they get sick. 85% of the reason dogs go to vets these days are due to poor food problems.
Are you talking about what do you mean when you mention proteins? Is it
So all different proteins,
animal-based products or
animal products. So I mean, I'll share a little bit about it. It's a large topic, and I go over this with every customer. The bottom line is there are these rendering plants that have been created post-industrial food production. We used to be able to get meat scraps from human grade facilities, and then that would go directly to the pet food companies. They separated the processing of those scraps to what are called rendering plants. There are rendering plants all over the country, and the rendering plants collect all carcasses, all dead animals. So from roadkill to other animals get collected there. They get processed into a dry protein powder that's sold to anyone who needs that, right? So the pet food companies, that's the cheapest source of protein they can get. When they have to lower their prices due to competition, they have to lower the quality of their ingredients. They either use fillers or poor quality proteins. And eventually, and what that does is it puts toxics into your dog's food. Now back to the youthful thing. You don't see the result because they're so young, healthy, and vibrant.
they can get
You
away
don't
with
see
that?
that they can get away with it for so many years. And then eventually, now your dog has problems because what's happening is in on the microscopic level, there's inflammation. The body's fighting off things that it doesn't need, that should not be in the body. And over time, that leads to imbalances, allergies, inflammation of all different organs, and eventually organ failure. So now I'm not a vet. This is stuff I've studied and read.
But it
I
makes so much sense.
I know it makes sense to me, so I
Even
share it.
in terms of
Yeah.
it sounds very similar to what happens in the processing of our food, that it's unnatural and we're putting food into the body, whether it's ours or what happens to the dogs, that the body can't recognize as natural food. So it's just got to do the best it can for as long as it can, but it's always going to catch up to you.
Absolutely, yeah, and that's what happens with the dogs. It's really sad because
Yeah.
like how I've summarized it is that our pets have become sort of like this portal of the industrialized waste of our food manufacturing. Not only food manufacturing, but waste. Okay.
Yeah, it's terrible. They're
If it
not
can
garbage disposals.
be repurposed, it's repurposed and put into the dog food. And you have to, I mean, it just takes a little bit of thinking about it, right?
Yeah.
When a pet food company posts a recall because of salmonella, let's say,
Mm.
right? Like, how does that happen? Their meat is rotting, right? So it's not cared for because there's no control over that. There's no regulations to control it. So it's whatever's most profitable, basically. So then, and the animals pay the price. So yeah. So the solution is you make sure you're not giving, you want to be 100% confident that your food is not contaminated. Labels are hard to read. You have to learn how to read the labels. You have to watch out for meals that are general labeled meal, like meat meal. That could have anything in it. Okay. So now if it says chicken meal, okay, it's chicken. Now you want, well, what chicken? Is it chicken from every part of the world that's mixed together, sold as a protein? That's a lot cheaper than getting chicken from one farm, single source. So you want single source proteins, and you want to verify that with your company if you're getting a dog food to make sure they're getting it from one, right? And that's, that chicken is raised in a certain way, and you get chemicals or not, you want to get down to that level. Same thing with salmon, right? Salmon could either be farm raised or wild. Farm raised salmon. Have you ever tried to raise salmon? Thousands of them in a pool. Can you imagine the amount of chemicals that are needed to keep that clean? Could you imagine the kind of diseases they have to fight off to keep to produce that? So you're like this farm salmon. Now, I'm not trying to like downplay any of these people. It's just a matter of knowing what you're getting, right? And I would much rather a wild caught salmon, right? Now, not that our oceans are in the best shape in the world, but you know, a wild caught salmon is going to have a cleaner and healthier organism that would then contribute to your body's or your dog's body. So anyways, so back to the joints, the joint support. You want a supplement that does that, and that nourishes the joint fluid from early on, because that's when they need the nutrition. So it's too late once they have arthritis. You want to give it to them now. Okay. Dental care. There is a now where we distribute Pawtree products. They're the company that we have found that's the most reputable as far as all their sources and intention to do well by dogs and people. The link for them is in the description of the event, but they have just come out with a plaque control chew that we want everyone to take. So Samantha, if your dogs aren't on it, you should definitely get them on it. It activates from the inside of the body and changes the chemistry and composition of the saliva to keep plaque off of their teeth. So it saves you downline when you go to the vets and you have to, you know, clean up your dog's gums and teeth. It saves that and it keeps them healthier. And mouth health is critical for everyone, for us and our dogs. It rotting teeth or plaque has a very bad effect on your dog's health. So
I
those
think you just mentioned the two most important things, and I would, I hear you talking about the joint health as well, but nutrition and dental hygiene and health, I think, are the two of the most critical health aspects.
right. Now,
Dogs.
I'm going to throw a couple more in there because it's important that everybody know. I'm going to put Ducky down, Gigi. So now this one is like where the biochemistry comes in. We make new cells every day. We're always manufacturing cells, right? And our old cells die and they fall off. And oh, Boston Stubbs.
Oh, I saw Boston on the last
Stubbs.
email. He is
The
so cute.
ambassador of the event.
He's gorgeous.
Isn't he gorgeous?
He is gorgeous.
He's like, what? Barton, what you doing?
How old is he?
He's 10 weeks, just under 10 weeks, or maybe close to 10 weeks.
He's a looker, that's for sure.
He's a looker. He's a sweetheart. Oh, you can see how different their personalities are, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Very important. We make the body, our dogs and us, make cells. And we have to make cell membranes, the coating around the cell, right? The cell membrane is probably the most important structure in the body to maintain health because that's your energy's being made in the cells. It is a transportation, it's like an epicenter of information. Genetics are in there. Everything has to go through in and out of the cell. If that cell's not made properly with proper ingredients, it can cause horrible problems. Now, what we make the cell with, the cell wall is made of lipids, of fatty acids. So we get the fatty acids from like cod liver oil, right? That's where your the wisdom of the ages, those, the grandparents or the parents, eat your cod liver oil. That's what kept people healthy because it builds good cells, right? So you're building cells with the best material you can get. That matters so much. And you can't, and everyone wants everything out of the kibble, like everything you can get. But you have to appreciate that the kibble is created in a way to make it usable for home. So it can be stored, it can last for a month, right? So you have to supplement. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with the kibble, but you have to give things in a form that will go into the dog's body more readily, so it can incorporate the ingredients properly. So salmon oil does that. So when you get high quality salmon oil and you add that to the diet, not only is it more interesting for the dog's food because they love it, but it gives you that fresh amino acid, or not amino acids, fatty acids and lipids for them to build their cell walls from. Now, most people that use oils, they love what happens to their dog because their coats shine. They have this beautiful little shine on them, right? Well, that's healthy cells, okay, and a little extra oil in there. So you want the oil. The last thing is cannabinoids, and this is one that most people don't know unless they're using them themselves for their body. Cannabinoids nourish the autoregulatory functions of the body. So your auto regulations, like all of your systems that are just firing off and doing the things like right now, they're maintaining my body temperature and everything. It maintains homeostasis in the body. So you want cannabinoids. Now, get the Paw Tree products for you because we've checked those out and we know they're good. This is what the CBD Mega looks like. These are the cannabinoids. So you want this.
So that's basically for nervous system health.
Essentially, yeah, it's a homeostasis. It
I
controls.
mean, I know it helps everything,
Right. It
but
helps everything.
it's because it starts with supporting the healthy functioning of the nervous system.
Yes, part of it, but also, your circulatory system, also your lymphatic system, also all the systems, right? The cannabinoids are part of that whole system, all systems that run. So they give it the nourishment it needs to maintain its balance and run in a good in a good in a good balanced way. I'm just going to show you these things. This is the salmon oil. So I'm not that see. I mean, you should just go to the link and you'll see it because it's kind of silly to show them to you. You're like, what are you going to do with that? Right. Anyways, get the core four. The core four is the product you want. That gets you all four of them. And those, if you give that to your puppy from the beginning, there is absolutely no reason that they should have any food related or nutrition related problem in their life.
You say the core four again?
So it's I didn't mention the GastroPro Plus probiotics. So you need probiotics. I'm showing it to you again. Probiotics are critical. Those are for your gut health. And that helps the gut health is very important. You want proper gut health so that all the nutrition that they're getting is incorporated into their body properly. So you need to supplement that because they have to be live organisms that enter the body and they have to arrive to the gut in a form that they can actually grow. Most the inferior ones die either in the jar or on their way to the gut. So it has to get into the gut, and that's what makes a good probiotic on top of quality organisms. So GastroPro Plus, which is the probiotic, the Joint Support Plus, which is the nutrition for your joint fluid, the salmon oil, which has pollock oil in it also, which is actually wild Alaskan salmon oil. They have a contract with fisher people. It's literally extracted within 10 hours of it coming to shore. So it is beautiful oil. It's very good. And the last one was the Gastro CBD Mega. So those are four: CBD Mega, Joint Support Plus, salmon oil, and the Gastro Plus.
And you would add the dental.
And oh yeah, they should throw that in the core. They should call it the Core 5.
They might change that now that they have that new product.
Yeah, the dental's new and it is so important. I mean, I don't go without the dental. Don't go without any of this stuff is the truth. And hey, like I said, we can treat ourselves the way we want to in our youth, but our dogs don't have the option to the nutrition they get. If you want your dog to live or your puppy to live a long, healthy life, then do this. Get them what they need. It's not so expensive. You just make it part of your regular bills and just make sure they get what they need. And then you can sleep good at night knowing you've done your best, right? And if something new comes along, great, go for it. But do your best and give them the best and they will grow the best. There you go. And while I'm talking about these things, don't forget your bottle. Oh my God, this bottle is so critical. Today it was so critical. We were out. I took Anahata to her doctor's appointment before coming here, and we're like, oh my God, Snowbo needs food. Oh, we have the bottle. The bottle was in her car. It had the water, it had the food in it. So she had everything she needed for the afternoon, and she's still out with her dog. So I'm gonna, can you, I need my other hand real quick. Can you take him again? This is Boston Stubbs, everybody. Don't miss the Stubbs. He's on the
Hey,
site, he's
Boston.
available, and he's just a sweet chunk of love. Oh, the Boston.
So cute.
Let me just show you this really quickly, you guys. The link's below, but you want to see this if you haven't seen this before. It's freaking awesome. It's got bowls, right? Bowls attached to it. So you got two bowls, right? And you could bring your stuff with you. You know, it's so great. And you have it. You can pour water in it for your dog, right? You could drink out of it yourself. This is your water bottle. It has a wide mouth for easy cleaning. See, stainless steel. It's good, clean, healthy stuff. And then have it with you, man. You go out for the day, you got everything you need, and your dog is always cared for. You could put the core four in here, right? Go out for the day. You can put your vitamins in there, take good care of yourself. Anyways, there you go. There were some things. Well, that's it, folks. It's 1 o'clock. I'm going to show you everything. If you haven't seen Mr. White on X, please check him out. There's a link below. Mr. White is one of Anahata's long lived service dogs who just recently passed, and she's carrying him on as a legacy to serve all dog families. Go to X. We're developing more. There's a whole website being created where he's going to be there to serve you with all your dog needs. So enjoy checking that out, and all of the other links in the description with Anahata's prolific services to help you and your dog have a great life.
Thanks, Arturo. Thanks so much for all the great information and for also for opening up this platform for all of us to come and gain some experience and education that we need to take the best care of our dogs that we can. So thank you so much.
You bet, Samantha. Thank you for coming again. It's so great to have you. And hey, everyone, come on back next week. Join us on Zoom and let's help you have a greater relationship with your dog or take better care of your dog, whatever you want. We're here to help you. All right. Bye, everyone. Have a great day.